Welcome to Rad Flicks. My name is Joe. These are just opinions. I am Joepinionated. Today on Rad Flicks, family movie night, voted on by a rad panel of 6 normal people, not movie critics. We're just seeing a bunch of movies. A couple runner-ups. Herbie Goes Bananas got a few votes. Herbie Goes Bananas. I remember loving watching the old Disney classic movies. I forget what day the magical world of Disney was. It was probably Sunday night. It's either Sunday or Saturday night, but it's something we could pick up with the antenna on our TV. This is the one where Herbie the Love Bug goes to Mexico. Another one that finishes in the runner-up pile for 1980s family movie night is The Gods Must Be Crazy. This one's from Jess. He's saying The Blues Brothers is a family movie. And he's also got Caddyshack as a family movie. So definitely wouldn't have made it past my mom when I was a kid. But Jesse's house, the kids are getting raised on Caddyshack and Blues Brothers. Another family movie night from Caro went to Stir Crazy. Let's go to the top 2 choices from the panel of normal people for family movie night, the raddest family movies from 1980. Number 2 for raddest family movie night of 1980 goes to The Empire Strikes Back, Star Wars. Home run. If your kids have not seen Star Wars, it's family friendly. Also, in the description, I always have all of these trailers, the movie trailers from YouTube links. It's in a playlist, so you can check them out. Make your tops list, send it to us. Let us know what you think are Rad Flicks. Anything we should add to the playlist, please let me know in the comments below. Appreciate that. Or send me a direct message. I don't know how the hell you do that. Send me cash. I could use some cash. Let's go. Raddest family night movie, 1980, goes to Popeye the Sailor Man, starring Robin Williams and Shelley Duvall. Olive Oil and Popeye. Man, I love this cartoon when I was a kid. Popeye the Sailor Man, best family movie night. Family movie night. So these are movies that we would watch with our kids. Now, some of us have a little different standards than other people for watching movies with their kids. I'm not telling you got to watch these movies with your kids. This is where our normal panels minds are at. So some runner-ups are Time Bandits, Terry Gilliam's classic that came up in the last category there. Devil and Max Devlin. Caro, you can let us know in the comments, or maybe everybody knows what that is and I'm an idiot. Also, the playlist for all of these trailers is in the comments. I'd love to hear your raddest flicks from each one of these categories for each year. Let's blow up the comments. This one got high votes from Ian and Bob. Number 3 is The Great Muppet Caper. The Muppets movies are all fantastic. Number 2 for family movie night, Raiders of the Lost Ark. Indiana Jones, we just talked about that. And the winner for 1981's raddest family movie goes to The Fox and the Hound. This one has Mickey Rooney and Kurt Russell with the voices for this Walt Disney classic. The next category is family movie night. So these are movies that our panel members anyway consider to be family movies. We're not saying that we're model parents or anything like that. You know, this is a show called Rad Flicks. We're not exactly splitting the atom or anything here, but some runner-ups. Annie, the musical, the original, that's 1982. The Secret of Nim, 48 Hours. Got a wise guy here. 48 Hours and Rocky 3. Rocky 3, I definitely agree with. 48 Hours, I don't know. I definitely watched Rocky 3 a lot when I was a kid. So Annie is actually tied for runner-up. It's tied with The Dark Crystal, co-directed by Frank Oz and Jim Henson. It's a movie about a young gelfling who embarks on a quest to heal the Dark Crystal. Anything Jim Henson, automatic red flick. Frank Oz, I mean, that's pretty close to anything these guys touch is gold. And number 1 family movie night for 1982 goes to Steven Spielberg's masterpiece, E.T., the Extraterrestrial. Starring Henry Thomas and Drew Barrymore, a young boy befriends an extraterrestrial on Earth. And E.T.'s just trying to go home. Technically the first movie I ever saw in the theater. This is certified rad. Now you may have noticed by now I'm not exactly the smartest guy, and you probably got a little bit dumber watching this so far, so I'm just going to say I am a little low on facts and high on opinions. Let me know where I screwed up along the way in the comments. Next category that's a fun one is family movie night. This might not be good for your family, but this might not be good for your family. It's up to you to figure out. And for me to not give a shit, hey, maybe you're having a family movie night soon. Why not theme it 1983 year? You can dress as Cabbage Patch Kids. Runner up, one of my favorite Christmas movies as a kid, Mickey's Christmas Carol, came in on family movie night. Another one that came in, Mr. Mom, starring Michael Keaton, All the Right Moves. Family movie night, Trading Places. We get another classic from Jess. Real classy guy there. Trading Places on family movie night. Teaching the kids anatomy, I suppose, and some really off color humor. Wow. Another runner up is National Lampoon's Vacation. Tied for second, we have Return of the Jedi and it's The Outsiders. That movie or that book that you had to read in grade 8 English class, or maybe earlier, maybe later, depending on what part of the world you live in. The Outsiders. Pretty good cast, I'd say. Pretty good. Maybe one of the best ensembles of young people in a movie ever. Really, one of the best, anyways. The Outsiders. There's tons of future. There's Tom Cruise. There's a ton. Everybody in this movie is super famous. Patrick Swayze. Outsiders is certified rad, no doubt about it. The winner, the raddest family movie from 1983, is a Christmas movie. It's A Christmas Story. Little Ralphie wants his Red Ryder BB gun. This is a movie about somebody looking back on their childhood and seeing the world through their childhood's mind's eye. This movie gets better with every watch. It's so well made. I used to think it was kind of cheesy and I wasn't too crazy about it when I was really young, but once I got it, I love this movie more every year. It's an absolute must watch every single year at Christmas time. Put that in your pipe and check out my Christmas movie marathon where I did a movie a day every day leading up to Christmas, the month of December. That's also on my channel. Like and subscribe. Fragile. That must be Italian. So the next category is family movie. It's family movie night. Some people have different parenting strategies. They grew up a little different even within our panel of normal Canadians. Some of the runners up, we got Muppets Take Manhattan. That's the suggestion from Ian. Gremlins also on there. Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom gets a vote for family movie night. There's some kind of scary stuff in that. I'm not really too sure about that one for family movie night, but all right. C'est la vie. Romancing the Stone. That's a family movie night. Finalists for raddest family movies, 1984. In third place, we've got Ghostbusters again. The runner-up for raddest family movie of 1984 goes to The Never-Ending Story. I'll be honest with you, when I was a kid, this movie scared the crap out of me. I was not getting anywhere near The Never-Ending Story, and I watched it later on, so it's not a childhood favorite of mine. I tried to show this one to my kids recently, and it did come out a little bit dated. This is certified rad, though. This movie is definitely cool. Second place, a runner-up, according to the panel, is The Never-Ending Story. And number one for Family Movie Night 1984 is The Karate Kid, directed by John Avildsen, starring Pat Morita and Ralph Macchio. Mr. Miyagi, Cobra Kai, the spin-off show is great. Wax on, wax off, paint the fence. I mean, I remember pretending to be this guy. Anytime he got chopsticks, he had to try to catch a fly. Like, this movie is not aged a second. It's still incredible today. There was a remake with Jackie Chan, which is pretty good, and Will Smith's kid. Nothing comes close to me to this original. It's great. My daughter recently watched it and loved it, and we're working our way through Karate Kid Part 2 currently. Daniel-san, the crane kick. Grew up in our time, you tried the crane kick. There's no question about it. You know exactly what it is. Shout out to the raddest family movie of 1984. It's Karate Kid. Next category is family movie night. Rad Flicks Family Movie Night. Here are the finalists. European Vacation, John Hughes. Road Again, Chevy Chase. Beverly D'Angelo. European Vacation is actually my least favorite. I own all the vacation movies. Come to like Vegas Vacation more than European Vacation. Nick Papagiorgio, that stuff kind of cracks me up. European Vacation is a finalist. Up next, directed by Rod Daniel, Teen Wolf, James Hampton, and Michael J. Fox. This is the one where a teenager discovers he has the ability to transform into a werewolf. All of a sudden, he's a wicked basketball player. Next finalist for Family Movie Night is also starring Michael J. Fox in Back to the Future. He's on fire 1985. Family Ties is also going on at that time. So I'm pretty sure they shot most of Back to the Future at nighttime or so. He had some crazy schedule. Robert Zemeckis. I'm a huge Robert Zemeckis fan. Check out his list. It's on his channel. If you're not familiar with all of his movies, you should be. I'm sure you love Forrest Gump, Back to the Futures, Contact, and I really like Flight. There's a bunch of them on there. Next up, family movie night. We're going with The Breakfast Club. We're not exactly like model parents or anything like that. We're submitting to a show called Rad Flicks. We're not exactly splitting the atom around here. Low on facts, high on opinions. Next finalist for family movie night. Once again, Richard Donner's The Goonies. Corey Feldman is Mouth. You got Mouth, Data, Chunk, Sloth, Mikey, Bran. Looking for One-Eyed Willie's gold. They're all going to get booted out of the Goondocks in Astoria, Oregon. What a beautiful town. If you haven't been there before, that's also where they filmed Kindergarten Cop and short drive down from where we live here in Canada. Next up, Legend comes up again for Family Movie Night 1985. That's that mystical one we were talking about earlier with Tom Cruise right before Top Gun. And Return to Oz. That's also another one that came out in 1985. That's a finalist for Family Movie Night, directed by Walter Murch. And the last finalist for 1985 Family Movie Night goes to Pee Wee Herman's Big Adventure, once again directed by Tim Burton. Pee Wee has his bike stolen. And it's unbelievable because he's got the world's biggest bike lock on it. Talking to his girlfriend, Dottie. I think it's his girlfriend, his partner, Dottie. She works at the bike shop. I remember getting a little bit creeped out by the nightmare scenes and stuff like that when I was a little guy. And the raddest family movie of 1985 fit for Family Movie Night goes to Back to the Future, raddest family movie of 1985. I don't know. I just think about this one as being a movie that I watched with my family so many times, even when I was a little kid. It was the first VHS I ever remember seeing going into a VCR, and then the movie starting up. I love Back to the Future, the trilogy. Runner-ups go to The Goonies. Richard Donner and Steven Spielberg. The story for The Goonies was actually written by Chris Columbus. Chris Columbus got his start by writing Gremlins. His directorial debut, I believe, was Adventures in Babysitting. Then Chris Columbus went on to direct, Home Alone and Harry Potter. Really cool interview too, if you ever want to check. If you're ever watching interviews with directors and stuff like that, Chris Columbus just seems like the coolest guy. Also a Chris Columbus episode on this channel. And the third place for raddest family movie of 1985 goes to Teen Wolf. Teen Wolf got third raddest family movie for 1985. Next up on Rad Flicks, the next category is Family Movie Night. So raddest family movie of 1986. First nominee is Castle in the Sky. Hayao Miyazaki from Studio Ghibli. Castle in the Sky. If you have not seen any of these, they're all on Netflix right now. Japanese animation. They're better than Disney movies, Disney cartoons, in my opinion. They're made more for the family. This is the one that really kind of got them off the ground, was Castle in the Sky in 1986. You will hear me mention them pretty much every year from year on going forward on every list. So creative. When I think of their movies, I think of The Wizard of Oz. It's a groundbreaking movie that's just so different and creative, and you have all these different characters and different rules to reality, like Tolkien did with Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit and those books, where he's inventing along the way. These movies do the same thing. Next finalist for Family Movie Night is Stand By Me from Rob Reiner. We talked about that one already. Finalist for raddest family movie, Short Circuit, John Badham, starring Ali Sheedy and Steve Guttenberg. Johnny Five. 2 sequels? There's definitely 1 sequel anyways. This was very cool. When I was a kid, there wasn't a lot of robot movies. Short Circuit 1986. Next finalist is American Tail, and this is one of my wife's favorite cartoons and soundtracks as well. Family Movie Night, American Tail. American Tail is a doozy. That'll get the tears flowing. It was actually, they were singing it either today or yesterday with a lot of music played in our house. Directed by Don Bluth. One of my heroes in it, Jim Stewart from It's a Wonderful Life, and all the old Frank Capra movies, and Philip Glazer is also in it. Up next, The Great Mouse Detective. A lot of mice in this year's Family Movie Night. Barry Ingham and Vincent Price do the voices in The Great Mouse Detective. Next up, Labyrinth. Like I said before, from Jim Henson, David Bowie, George Lucas. That's a triple threat of people that your kids should all know. So Family Movie Night, Labyrinth. Next, Rodney Dangerfield's Back to School. Okay. Another wise guy. This time it's Caro. Bringing that in as a finalist. Peggy Sue Got Married. So that's Francis Ford Coppola and Nicolas Cage. Peggy Sue Got Married. Family Movie Night. Next finalist is The Three Amigos. We already mentioned that one a few times. That's a finalist. Jesse again. Top Gun for Family Movie Night. finalist for Family Movie Night before we announce the winner is Ferris Bueller's Day Off from John Hughes again, Matthew Broderick. And the winner goes to, for Raddest Family Movie of 1986, goes to Labyrinth. And the runner-ups for Raddest Family Movie of 1986, a tie between Short Circuit and The Three Amigos. Almost a three-way tie, but not by missing by 1 point would be An American Tail. So Raddest Family Movie of 1986 goes to Labyrinth. The Raddest Family Movie of 1987 finalists are, remember, like our panel, like some of these people are really bad parents by the sounds of things, so keep that in mind. Finalists are, first of all, Overboard. Director Gary Marshall, Goldie Hawn, Kurt Russell. I watched this movie a whole bunch when I was a kid, actually. Really great movie. It was on quite a bit in TV and stuff like that, so never had to own it. It was just on TV all the time. And it was always cool. For some reason, it was always kind of fresh. I remember I was a kid watching it and remember them building the golf course and a mini golf course at their house and stuff. Just seemed so cool. This is a rad flick. I'm glad it's on here. Next up, Monster Squad. It's kind of like a Goonies follow-up. And to be honest with you, I didn't even learn about it until I started to research for this whole episode. So credit to Joe, too, for having it on his list here. Another one directed by Rob Reiner. Last year, one that scored pretty high was Stand By Me. And this year, Rob Reiner scoring high again with The Princess Bride. Carrie Lewis and Robin Wright and Andre the Giant. Another Wonder Years reference in before next year is when Wonder Years debuts. Fred Savage is in it too. Next up, Raddest Family Movie, Adventures in Babysitting. And once again, this is from director Chris Columbus. There's a Chris Columbus episode on his channel. Great movie. Love that little Viking hat. Elizabeth Shue plays the lead. Now, Elizabeth Shue, she was in the Back to the Futures as well as Leaving Las Vegas. Powerhouse of the 80s and 90s. My daughter loves that movie. I love that movie. I like the remake. I thought it was okay. The remake was pretty decent. It is a classic in my opinion. Next up, directed by Danny DeVito, starring Danny DeVito and Billy Crystal. Throw Mama from the Train. Next for Raddest Family Movie, Harry and the Hendersons. Directed by William Deere, Melinda Dillon, John Lithgow. I remember watching it on VHS, renting it. A lot of buzz around it. Seeing 1 million copies of it at the VHS rental store. Would have been in Edmonton, Alberta. And last but not least, for Family Movie Night, final finalist comes from Mel Brooks, Spaceballs. Starring Mel Brooks and John Candy, and I love Spaceballs. Use the Schwartz. Rick Moranis, again, love everything Rick Moranis ever did. The reasons that he left acting were good ones and from a normal person. I've got a ton of respect for Rick Moranis. In the 85 episode, I'm wearing the Bob and Doug McKenzie. This episode, I got the Al Bundy Dixon flannel on. For Raddest Family Movie, for Family Movie Night of 1987, The Princess Bride, directed by Rob Reiner. Another movie that just stands out. Finished number 1 for every panel member except for Caro. Caro's number 1 pick actually won second overall, which is Adventures in Babysitting. Directorial debut as far as I know, but Chris Columbus, definitely his first hit. And that's after he wrote and sold both The Goonies and Gremlins. Think about that. Next up is Family Movie Night for 1988. First finalist from Studio Ghibli, Hayao Miyazaki's My Neighbor Totoro. If you haven't seen these movies, they're all on Netflix, and you should definitely make it your next watches. My Neighbor Totoro is incredible. Incredible movies, incredible imagination, characters. Every character is a one-off rather than just recycling old ideas, which I hate a lot of these new movies these days. It's just recycled old ideas. Come up with a new super hero. I don't need to see Spider-Man go to the multiverse. How about a new hero fights a new bad guy? Or Spider-Man fights a new villain? Who Framed Roger Rabbit comes up for Family Movie Night. That's Robert Zemeckis. Penny Marshall's Big, starring Tom Hanks. I said it. I read it. I stole my mama's credit. I'm cool. I'm hot. Josh Baskin, 10 out of 10. Excellent movie. Watched it so many times. Still watch it this day. It's about this kid that wishes he was big at a fair because he's too small to get onto the roller coaster in front of the girl he's after. Big Top Pewee gets into the finals for Raddest Family Movie, 1988. Beetlejuice from Tim Burton gets vote Family Movie, 1988. Oliver and Co. The Land Before Time, Little Feat. Littlefoot. I remember my nephew used to watch that all the time. Willow. Willow's a finalist for Family Movie Night 1988. And Crocodile Dundee Part 2 is the final finalist for Family Movie Night 1988. And the winner goes to Who Framed Roger Rabbit for Family Movie of 1988. Love that. Robert Zemeckis owns this category again. I love that this movie getting lots of recognition. Next for Rad Flicks 1989. Family Movie Night. So this is where we pick out family movie options or family movies that we had as a kid. The nominees are UHF. That's been brought up a few times. Weird Al Yankovic. Back to the Future Part 2. The Little Mermaid from Walt Disney. I don't think this one has been brought up so far. The Little Mermaid, Disney, 1989. One of my favorite Disney movies, hands down. I will do a Disney list in the future. The Little Mermaid, Ariel, The Little Mermaid wants to be part of their world. And some of my favorite tunes, Under the Sea, Kiss the Girl. You got to kiss the girl. Oh, The Wizard, Family Movie Night, The Wizard, starring Kevin from The Wonder Years. About the release of Mario Brothers 3, Super Mario Brothers 3, these kids that are video game Nintendo experts. Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. Honey, I Shrunk the Kids starring Rick Moranis. I remember going to see this one in the theater as well. That giant Lego block. I remember all the special effects seemed so cool. Other finalists for Family Movie Night 1989 go to Uncle Buck. Once again, directed, written by John Hughes. Christmas Vacation. I mean, that's definitely one I watch with my family at least once or twice a year. Little Monsters, another one starring Fred Savage. Family movie, like it. When Harry Met Sally for Family Movie Night. There you go, Jess again. Interesting childhoods going on. Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. Mandatory around here, as you learn so many historical figures. And the winner of Family Movie Night for 1989 goes to Disney's The Little Mermaid, which had 2 first place picks, 2 second place picks, and a third place pick out of a 6-person panel. That's pretty good. The only one that didn't vote for Little Mermaid at all was Joe 2. So way to go, Joe 2. So there you have it. The 1980s wrapped up. That's 1989. We've gone all the way from 1980 to 1989 in a short period of time. I want to thank our panel of normal Canadians, all 6 of you. Sure to like, comment, subscribe. Put your opinions in the description below. I'd love to talk to you there's a Discord created for Joepinionated. Look it up. Patreon as well. Check me out on all socials. I'm always posting every record that we're listening to around the house. The 90s coming up next. Also some deep dives into some musicians such as the Tragically Hip and Ween. I know you might have noticed the Ween Quebec on my shirt here. I'm a big time fan of Ween. Going to do a deep dive for those guys soon as well. I'm sorry, I'm a little low on facts and high on opinions.